One thing I want to constantly remind our church with is this idea that you are not going out to be Jesus to people. You are going out with Jesus in you to people. You're bringing Him everywhere you go. And He's filling you, but He wants to fill everything with His presence. And so we would draw this picture and say, imagine this is our city, Tacoma. And the call that we have on us is to be God's people sent for God's purposes to declare His power in the gospel so that the city that we live in will get filled with the presence of Christ in everything. So that there's no possible way that anybody would ever be able to be removed from the possibility of hearing and seeing the gospel of Jesus Christ through His people. That's the intent for His church. And as I would walk through it, I'd say, let's look how this takes place. In chapter 2, it says we've been saved by grace. But it says we've also been saved for something, for good works which He prepared in advance for us to do. You've been saved by God's work, for God's work. And then we would move further and we'd say, when we look at the people who God gave to the church in Ephesians 4 as gifts to the church, He didn't give those people to the church to be the ministers of the church. He gave those people to the church, apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, and teachers, to equip the people of the church to be the ministers of the church. That's the intent. So when I would call people to what we were going to do, and as we began to equip and train, I reminded them over and over and over again, you are the ministers of this church. In fact, you're full-time paid staff of this church that we're going to see started. And they were all looking around for the paycheck. Where's it coming from? And I said, fundamentally, every one of us, and this is true for everyone in the room, whether you get your paycheck with a little stamp on the side of it that says your church's name, or whether it says Microsoft in our case, or Starbucks, or Boeing, or wherever it may be, God is routing His money, His resource to you through some other company so that you can be paid for full-time ministry wherever He sends you. It means every single person in the church is a full-time paid minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And the job of those of us who are pastors, or teachers, or apostles, or evangelists, or prophets, is to equip the saints for works of ministry, not to do the ministry for the saints.